We don't care for vinyl wrap here. Let me tell you why. It's Arizona. It's like 105 degrees out. It's hot as hell. The sun is nasty. And vinyl wrap, no go. That adhesive fails in like a year, especially with black. And number of other issues. Like it just doesn't look the same as paint. You can say paint is dead all you fucking want. Hashtag paint is dead. That's fine. You know, say whatever you want, but paint's not dead. Your vinyl wrap doesn't look as good. You should not vinyl wrap your roof black, okay? You want to color change it? Let's paint it, right?
Vinyl is dead.
Cost-wise, you're not looking at much more. It's gonna last years and years and years. It's gonna have a nice, deep, glossy shine. It's not gonna have that weird, nasty, dry orange peel texture like vinyl wrap does. And yeah, just paint's better all around. So, project we got for the day is black roof on this Audi because the paint's kaput. The rest of it's looking all right. He actually just got this detailed before he brought it here, which never do. Just don't. Don't go get your car professionally detailed and ceramic coated and then bring it to the paint shop.
Yeah. What the fuck, people?
Yeah. Don't do that. Ceramic coat is like a prepper's worst nightmare, man. You don't want any of that shit on there. It creates fish eyes, reactions, things don't want to stick. I generally wipe that stuff off with paint reducer. So, what are we doing right now? We're masking off all the edges. We're gonna throw a bag over the whole car so that this doesn't get scratched or anything. It's fancy, nice little colors and polish, and it's all nice and clean. So we gotta make sure that the car doesn't leave with a speck of dust on it.
You know, I'm looking at this and I'm not seeing very much professional wet sanding polishing.
Anyhow, we've got the windshield and the moldings all masked off. We've got a tape line that I ran along this gutter here. On some of the European cars, they do these laser welded roof seams, which makes splitting it up for color change a little bit difficult just because there's not like a nice rain gutter with like a molding. So we're gonna use this body line here as a point to kind of kill the color. Angel is just masking up underneath the sunroof opening right now, so we can go ahead and get this all buzzed up. The main problem is we got a couple spots of sun fade. We're trying to paint this thing today, so we're gonna go ahead and get these buzzed in with 500 grit, and then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of UV primer, which means that we can cure it in 2 minutes and then sand it right after that, and it'll be ready to go. So we're gonna get this whole roof buzzed up in 500. I'll probably hit these edges around here with some 1000 grit or 800, and yeah. Any words?
Don't ceramic coat your car when you're gonna have it painted. Thank you.
Check it out. Roof's all done, dude.
Oh my.
Came out sick.
Dude, check out the interior, bro.
Freshly, oh my God. Yo, that is fabulous.
Bro, did you see this sick ass?
Damn.
What is it, Hello Kitty? Better be Hello Kitty.
Damn, dude. So I like using this UV primer a lot. It's a 1K product, doesn't take any activator or anything. You literally just dump it straight in the gun. There's no waste or anything. Anything that you don't use, you can just pour straight back into the quart. It is pricey, but the stuff cures in 2 minutes with the UV light. Some of them you can actually even just throw them out in the sun for a little while and they'll cure up. I only really use this stuff for like small spots. I don't like to do like full panels or anything with it, just because you can run the risk of like having an area that doesn't cure correctly. So for something like this, we thought it was perfect because it just, you know, locks down that sun fade. That way we don't get that nasty ring around the edges. We also threw a little bit over a spot that had some etching from bird poop because we didn't want that to come back through to the surface after we paint it. And then we also used a little bit of UV chip putty for some little rock chips and stuff around the roof so it didn't leave a little indent and look, you know, like kind of like a fisheye when it was all done and painted. If you're doing this at home, you're probably gonna use like a 2K urethane or something to do this. If you need to primer your roof, unless the paint's in good shape, and then you're good to, you know, repaint over top of it. And if that's the case, just make sure that you follow the data sheet and everything according to the primer manufacturer. You're probably gonna let it sit overnight before you can paint it. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Really appreciate you guys watching our videos and stuff. The last thing I wanted to do was give you guys a few like tips and tricks for painting black, things that make the results come out a little bit nicer, right? So the first thing I have to say is when you go to the paint store to pick up your paint, make sure that they don't just give you any old plain black. You don't want to use, there's yellow blacks, there's blue blacks, there's like browner blacks, right? There's any variation of black, just like any other color, right? So you want to make sure that you get the deepest, darkest, like most jet ink black that they have. This particular one was a 240 toner, just straight jet black, right? The other thing is don't overload the clear coat, right? So the initial thought would be like, oh, you want to like pile it on. It's a flat panel. You want to just overload it, right? And just pound the clear on and get that real nice deep shine. You don't need a lot of mils on there to get that really deep shine. And what you'll actually wind up getting is what's called urethane wave, where the clear is going to look kind of chunky and like almost ripply. And you're going to have to sand the crap out of it to get it to look flat. Bump that air pressure up on your spray gun and just lay it out real nice and flat with a really, really fine orange peel. And that way when you go to wet sand and polish it, it just knocks flat almost instantly when you tap it with a 2000 grit. The last thing is to make sure that your prep work is perfect, right? Everyone always makes a big deal saying that black is the hardest color to paint, but in reality, it's the easiest color to paint. It's the hardest color to prep for, right? So you gotta make sure that all your body work is completely smooth. You don't have any dents or dings or ripples or anything that you missed. You gotta make sure there's no chips or gouges or scratches or anything that you're painting over because it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb when you're all done. But If you do all the prep, when it comes to the painting stage, it's really easy to see what you're doing because it's already gonna look nice and slick, and you're gonna be able to watch that paint really wet out when you're spraying it.